Welcome to the Booze and Chill channel. Today we're taking a field trip to Saludos. It's one of the two breweries that we got here in South Texas. And today we're gonna go in and we're gonna sip some stuff. We're gonna take a look around. We're gonna really get to know the vibe that is Saludos. So enough of this, let's go inside and check it out. Tucked away in the heart of South Texas, this is Saludos Brewery. Small in footprint, but big on flavor. The kind of place you don't just stumble into, you seek out. And trust me, your taste buds will thank you for making the trip. So here with David, the founder of Saludos. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
And I say we take a look around, see what you guys are working with here.
Yeah. You do. You need a beer?
Sure. Can't do one of these reviews or interview really without a drink at hand. So what is it we're doing here? We're looking at the tanks. I see we got some names. We got some fermentation. We got some bubbles. What's the newest thing you got going on right here?
Well, let me just give you kind of an idea what's going on. So this is where the cooking happens, all right? So
Sure.
are you like Breaking Bad?
I've seen clips here and there.
Yeah, it's here and there. All right. Well, this is where we cook beer. This is where we create beer. Yeah. So yeah, all these tanks in front of me is where all the beer is being fermented, and all the tanks behind us is where the beer gets cooked. So this big sucker here is the actual brew house. So grains come into this. This is what's called the mash tun. It has a door, so we get the grains, right? We crush them just like you would grind your coffee, or call it like your whole beans, right? Your whole grinder, right? So you get your whole beans, you grind them up, and then you brew your coffee. Kind of the same concept with your beer. You grind up or crush your grains, you put them in your mash tun, you extract all your flavors, all your sugars, all that good stuff. All the that happens in this tank here. Usually sits there for about an hour. Transfer all that liquid into this next kettle that's called a boil kettle, which would be this big boiler, right? Which would be this one over here. And then from that point, transfers into the tanks behind us, or the other two tanks that are on that side over there. And then the tanks that are behind you here, we rightfully named them in Spanish, caliente.
Caliente.
Right? We had caliente and another tank over there named frío. And then all of our other tanks are named uno, dos. Right? So
Pretty simple stuff.
very simple, yeah. Manufacturer of all these tanks is ABE, which stands for American Beverage Equipment. They're out of, funny enough, ABE is out of Lincoln, Nebraska. So I don't know why they did that, but I kind of like it. That's where these tanks come from. That's where all these tanks come from. But anyway, this big tank that's named Caliente, all it does is just hold hot water. The big tank in the other side that's named Frio just holds cold water. You need a combination of the two to maintain proper temperatures between these two. These tanks here is you're just fermenting. And what's happening in these buckets here, well, you see all these little bubbling happening. This is yeast that is happily fermenting all the sugars that we extracted from the grains. You got sugar water, basically. You got sugar water in here with yeast, and the yeast is converting all that sugar into alcohol, which goes into your glass and makes you nice and happy and buzzed.
Oh, hell yeah.
So what's happening here is all the CO2 that is escaping from all the conversion is coming into this bucket of sanitizing water. We call this an airlock. That way no outside dirty air goes back into the tank and contaminates your beer, because contamination is a very bad thing. If you've ever tasted beer that is like awkwardly sour or like
Artisan, including actual sour style beer.
correct, yeah. Like if there's like a beer, say for example, that is like I don't know, an amber ale or something that's supposed to be like a lager or anything else that's not supposed to be a sour, and it tastes sour, it's probably because some dirty air or other contamination got into this tank. So having something like this prevents any contamination coming into the tank. So big thing in brewing is sanitation. Everything is all about sanitation.
How do you guys come up with the names? I'm a little bit into the whole cannabis industry thing, and I don't know if you're familiar with these cannabis strain named. They're funky. They are, and you guys have kind of sort of like the same humor that I see when it comes to naming. Where do you guys get your names from? And who comes up with them?
I do. Yeah, I do. Sometimes it's a collaborative thing, like La Sancha was a collaborative thing. But most of the time, a lot of these names have been around since the garage days. So like Tex-Mex, like I just knew like, man, Tex-Mex is great. Like that's like, how can you go wrong with that, right? And there's nothing funny about that. Like that's just like our culture. Like yeah. So like that was easy. But I just thought like, man, I think it would be great to, this is my thought process. I just think it would be great to, one, make people laugh, have kind of like a joke about it as they're drinking. The more they drink, the more they're going to laugh about it.
Sure.
And the second is like, it needs to be culturally funny. Like somebody in, I don't know, Georgia might not understand La Sancha, but here in South Texas, we know what La Sancha is. That's a huge, or El Sancho. Like we know what that is. He's got one here.
I'm kidding.
I mean, that's kind of where I was coming with that. And like Guarita, like sitting in this tank, purposely misspelled it. Like that's not how you spell Guarita. But if you were, you know, Tex-Mex lingo, you would probably spell it this way. So why not? And I've been corrected many times. Like, that's not how you spell Guarita. I was like, I know, dude. Like, I know. Like, just go with. Are you even from here, bro? Like, just go with it, man. Just go with it.
Yeah, I've been coming here often, and I see that you guys like, you got the entertainment. You got the drinks are pretty much on point. You pretty much explained everything from like the naming to the process, how you guys go about it, the sanitation, which is crazy. Like I had an idea of how it is a brewery like do it, but to like how you said how much was that, like 80% cleaning?
That's the way I would put it. Yeah, it's like 80% cleaning and sanitation, 20% brewery.
Fucking nuts, dude. But I mean, like if that's how it is, I guess that's the brewing game.
Also, people don't realize, I think a lot of people that come in here, maybe you do, because I think you're a beer enthusiast, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people that come in here don't even realize that we make the beer here, which is crazy. Like they just think like maybe we just bring it from somewhere else and this is just for show. But they don't realize like, man, to fill up these tanks is not just like an hour process. Like it's a all day process.
Yeah.
Like to brew a batch is literally an 8-hour workday. The 8 hour, pretty much. We get here like at 6 a.m, work the entire day to put, you know, a 5-barrel batch in this tank and then clean it up, go home, start the process again the next morning. And then on top of that, it's not like just because we put the beer in here yesterday means it's ready tomorrow. Like it sits here for a minimum.
Yeah, minimum through the fermentation and all that. So
minimum of 10 days, minimum. Anything that you see as ale will sit in the tank for a minimum of 10 days. Usually we'll go about 14 days. Anything that's lager, like our top selling beer or Tex-Mex, Mexican style lager, that would be in the tanks for about a month, sometimes longer. So that's just fermentation and conditioning. And then you still got to carbonate, you still got to package, then you got to clean, and then of course, and then repeat. So it's crazy. People to walk in here and just think like, oh yeah, I'm just here for a pint of beer or whatever, and they don't even realize how much work goes into getting it into this glass, you know?
Which is funny because brewery is in the name, like, which is weird
I think part of the experience and the one thing that I wanted to bring to my community, to our community, and the way I set this place up, it was like, okay, I want the bar in the middle and I want the tanks sitting here. I want people to have the experience of you're sitting in the middle of the place where everything is being made. That way, for anybody, and hopefully almost everybody, asks the question, where is this from? Well, like, how did it get in here? Well, the tanks are right in front of you. Like, anywhere you sit in this brewery, anywhere you sit in that tap room, like, you can see all the stainless steel. You can see where it's coming from.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea.
And I appreciate that idea, actually, because like you said, it's had the fact that you can just sit in the bar, right? It's like these behind these tanks, and like you said, you can see. Maybe you might not see the hoses and all that stuff because you want to keep it nice and neat for the aesthetically wise for everybody who's coming here drinking. But the fact that you can actually see like somewhat behind the scenes as you drink the stuff, it's pretty awesome. The idea was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I've gotten that before, and I always appreciate that comment. I really do. I really do. It really does mean a lot because that is the idea. That is always the idea from the very beginning. Give people the experience of like you're not at a bar. You're literally in the middle. You're sitting in the middle of a brewery, a beverage manufacturing facility. That's where you're at. It's not a bar. It's not a restaurant. It's a brewery.
Yeah. Speaking of brewing stuff, I wanted to touch on because you don't just do beers. You also make your own sodas. I saw that.
Yeah.
What is? I think there's like 2. I believe it was.
We have a few of them. Yeah. I don't know how I got maybe like 5 or 6 soda flavors at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So and do you guys do that in the same tanks, or you guys got several stuff right in here?
Yeah.
Who came up with that idea to just like make beer and soda?
My idea. Yeah. And funny that you asked that. My wife is the compliance person of the company. She's more than that. Honestly, she's the marketing person. She's the compliance. She's the bookkeeping. She does a lot for this business.
Marriage is the team, man. Marriage is the team.
She really like is running the whole upside down. Like she's literally running like the whole company. I am the production guy. Like I'm the idea guy for the production and the liquid, right? So when it came to the soda stuff, I was like, hey, we have all the equipment for this stuff. Like we have the canning machine, we have the kegs, we have the tanks. Like we have a beverage company. Like we can make anything. Like if I wanted to, we can make spirits, but I don't have that requires licensing. Soft drinks does not require licensing. It requires like beverage manufacturing licenses, which we already have, but I don't need any special licenses for making it like I do beer or wine or spirits. So it's like, hey, we want to make sodas. Like we can make sodas. Like got these tanks. Like we can carbonate it. We got a canning machine. We can can it. We want to put it on draft. We can put it on draft. We want to sell it to the public. Like we can do all that stuff. And she's like, whoa. Let me read about this. I was like, whoa. I was like, hey.
You'll get too ahead of yourself, sir.
Yeah, pretty much.
This was very informative. The tanks are nice. They're like super heavy duty, very professional. And even for the space and the amount of like just the space in general and what they have to work with, it is insane. And like we thank you for making so good drinks. Like this one in particular, the juicy, I believe it was. What's the full name for this? Juguito. I'm sorry.
Juguito Juicy IPA.
Yeah. Juguito Juicy. Juguito meaning juicy in Spanish for non-Spanish speakers. And yeah, you've done a really good job, man. I mean,
thank you.
The place is aesthetically pleasing. You get to see again a little bit of behind the scenes from the bar. And just It's just a different type of vibe, as they say now.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Also, Raymond.
First step inside and you instantly feel it. Chill lighting and the slight smell of hops in the air. It's like walking into your cool cousin's garage if your cousin happened to be a brewing genius with great taste. All right, so we're here. We're finally doing what Booze and Chill is actually, is good at doing, and that is tasting the actual thing. So right here, we got what is called Tex-Mex. This is their #1 selling lager. And this thing comes in with 4.9 ABV, which is about like an average amount of alcohol, like almost not a little bit more than a light beer, but not too low of a light beer. About 7 IBUs. And I love the fact that they actually put in the actual ABV and IBUs, which is like, I've only been in like a handful of breweries, but I appreciate this, is what I'm trying to say. I appreciate it. But anyways, let's dive into the first thing that we do, and that is the smelling. That's a heavy hitter. And you know what? I'm actually going to remove the lime a little bit. Very bittery. I can definitely smell the 7% IBUs. And like I've mentioned many times, international bitterness units, that's again the bitterness that you pick up. It gives me like a Mexican beer kind of smell. Really earthy, bittery. Almost like the only way I've only been able to describe Mexican beers, like very earthy dirt kind of smell. If that makes any sense. And that just seems to be not a signature thing, but it's kind of sort of common on Mexican beers. What? But anyways, ooh, wait a minute. There's a little sweetness. Tiny little hint of sweetness, like brown sugary. No, that's not brown sugar. What is that? There's a little sweetness. Underneath the super dirty bitterness smell that I have. But anyways, that's all I'm picking up. Let's get into the drinking, the tasting, I mean. It's definitely got a lager, which is surprising because I picked up a lot of like a Mexican type of feel kind of to it in the nose, but in the taste though, a lot more smoother in the palate than it is on the nose. It doesn't hit you with the IBUs. It doesn't hit you with that bitterness. Like I said, it comes in very nice, comes in very smooth, very light. It has a very decent mouthfeel also. I kind of sort of get why they put a lime in it, actually. I'm actually going to, just to kind of like fuck around here, let's spin it a little bit. See, now we're getting into Chilada territory. We're getting into Chilada territory now, which I am a fan of, so cheers. Oh shit, yeah. Definitely Chilada territory. It does seem to, the lime, seems to enhance the flavor. It gives it much more of a, again, this is the name, Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is very big, and when it comes to the South Texas culture, it's Texas, it's Mexican mixed together, and it makes a baby that tastes kind of like this. Weird to say. But that's basically what we're doing here. We're tasting Tex-Mex. Super enjoyable. Again, the lime enhances the flavor of the lager. Again, you don't get that at first. I mean, you do, but the lime again just enhances it. And if you're familiar with chiladas, you'll definitely enjoy this. If you like something nice and refreshing, just a little bit of lime, just like, or how that guy does it. You know that meme. It's good. It's tasty. It's refreshing. It definitely hits a lot real good, especially around this time. You know, the freaking weather right now is like what, 108 degrees, something like that. So it definitely is refreshing. Hits very wise, and I think it's about that time we move on to the next. We're counting down 3 of the drinks. This is the number 1. This one being the Tex-Mex, and then we're gonna go into the second best, and we're gonna do the third, And in the meantime, we're going to do what I usually do. We're going to rinse and then move on to the next one. The vibe, super loco. You got folks having a good time, catching up, no egos, no beer snobs, just a whole lot of people who love a good pour and a good time. All right, so we're now down to number 2. This is their second best-selling beer here, and this one is the Juguito Juicy IPA. Juguito meaning juicy. So technically speaking, we're saying juicy IPA. So this bad boy comes in at 6.3 ABV and 32 IBUs, just slightly more higher. In fact, a lot more higher in the IBUs. Not as high as ABV, as the Tex-Mex, but let me tell you, and I've mentioned this before in the channel, if it says juicy on it in the front, it's going to come in with a lot of flavor. Most of the time, it also comes in with a lot more ABV. So here we go. Smelling part. I'm not just saying this because I'm an IPA fan. Very citrusy, very fruity. And it just like, I'm just a huge fan of the smell. It packs in a lot of smell. It packs in. This one actually is a lot more sweeter. It's citrus and fruity. I cannot, for the life of me, tell what to pick up on this one because it's like, I don't know if it's fresh because I mean this one came out straight out of the tab. This one's straight tab, but for sure, citrusy, fruity. I do pick up maybe like, I want to say, slight, maybe like a pineapple, quite possibly maybe, and maybe like a mango, maybe plum, quite possibly plum. A little bit of mango, pineapple. I've already rinsed. Let's get into the tasty part now. Cheers. I'm going to say this now. This is not my first time here. This is my first time doing the Booze and Chill thing here. So this is actually one of my favorite go-tos. Again, I'm a big IPA fan. This one is just one of the good ones that I've tried. What's awesome about it is that it's right here in the home city of Laredo here in South Texas. And I can tell you, from an IPA lover to another, it is straight up delicious. Packs so much flavor. Again, I know I say this a lot, but IPAs pack so much flavor, so much of a kick. A lot of, not so much on the bitters, depending on the actual, where you get it from, I mean. But it's very sweet, very citrusy. It's got it says that it has 32 IBUs. You do not actually pick those up. I don't want to say it's like a miscalculation or whatnot. I don't pick those up. Me personally, but that's the fun of the game of trying different beers. Different people get different notes. You get different amounts of the IBUs and whatnot. So me personally, I do not pick up 32. I mean, that's good on me because, again, it makes it a more of a smooth ride for me. So I enjoy that. Maybe that's why it's one of my personal favorites. But also at the same time, it's my personal favorite because, again, I'm just a huge fan of the IPAs. So when it comes to IPAs, Saludos definitely nailed it. It's got their own personal kick to it, their own personal smell, their own personal fruitiness to it. And as you probably saw earlier in the video, we got to see some behind the scenes stuff and the love and the creativity that goes into making this. You can definitely taste it when it comes to this. Tex-Mex as well, but there's just something a little bit more special when it comes to me, when it comes to the Juguito. This thing is delicious. I recommend it. That's all for the tasting. We're going to rinse out and we're going to go for the third best. And yeah, cheers. If you're ever cruising through South Texas and looking for a legit craft beer with character, this is your stop. Small town vibe with big beer energy. Just don't blame me when you cancel your plans to stay a bit longer. All right, so we're here now with the third best-selling beer that we got here in Saludos. And this one goes by the name La Sancha Hog Ale. For non-Spanish speakers, that basically means the side chick. It's humorous. I love it. We talked about it in the interview. If you have a sense of humor, you will get it. If you don't, then maybe you just need another beer. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyways, Sancho comes in with about 4.6 ABV and 7% IBU. When it compared to, to the Tex Mex, same IBUs and like 3.3% more in the alcohol. It's not really that much of a difference. You cannot compare it though to the Juguito, which is 6.3 and 32 IBUs. But again, the IPAs is coming a lot more harder when it comes to flavor, IBUs, and pretty much everything. But anyways, let's get into the smelling here. It did come with an orange garnish, but I took it off because there's too much of an orange smell. So let's get into the natural beer smell here. It's a little bit, wait, I'm actually smelling the food. Let's go with the background. I'm picking up the smell of the food. So do a little bit of this. It's got papaya. There's a little bit like a papaya kind of smell. It has a papaya smell. And this fuck, not the ass part, but this part. It's got a hint. And this thing, the Sancho comes in as an ale. To me, it's a little tricky because you got your lagers, and then you got what comes after. I'm thinking Pilsner, but Pilsner's not the word. Pilsner's got its own little Pilsner's got its own little skunk thing going on. But as far as the smell goes, there's a little fruitiness to it. Again, papaya, not the bad part of the papaya, but the sweetness of a papaya, almost like a berry. I'm picking up some sort of berry, possible berry, almost like a dragon fruit. A little bit actually, raspberry, dragon fruity, papaya-y. Like, there's so much going on in this lager. All sorts of things going on in this lager. Again, we're only taught the cleaning process and all that. We didn't go deep into what goes into it, but depending on the hops, which we got showed what kind of hops it was, which is still crazy to me because the fact that they were pebbles. You can still get all these crazy smells and aromas just from the actual, in this case, pebble hops. So that's insane to me, but that's what I get in the smell. Let's get into the tasting. Cheers. It kind of sort of reminds me, because there's Brisk, and then Brisk has this raspberry flavor. Kind of sort of reminds me of that. This heavy raspberry. You know what? Let's see what the orange does. Let's get a little bit of the orange juice in it. We did it for the Tex-Mex. It came with a lime. We put some of the lime juice into it and enhance the flavor. Let's see what it does for the actual Sancha here. Cheers. The raspberry is enhanced by 100%. I definitely pick up a lot of the ale flavor. You don't pick it up on the nose, but I think it's when it comes to ales and other different styles of beer, it's a little bit tricky. IPAs you can kind of leave out. Pilsners you can leave out because they have their own specific kind of aromas. But this one, compared to any other ribs other than those two I just mentioned, it's a bit tricky. This one in particular, they brewed it to a way where it comes out a lot fruitier. Okay, my friend over here is telling me to actually take a bite of the orange. Fruit salad. Taking a bite of the orange with the Sancha, it's like a fruit salad. I don't know if this is like a salad take. Well, no. Sancha is a side chick. Side chick being obviously not okay, right? It's not okay to do that. But I'm assuming side chicks is a sweet thing because you got a side thing. You know what I mean?
It's sweet, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not promoting any negativity here, but it's sweet nonetheless. But you get the jokes, and that's what I like about the whole the naming of this thing. It was sweet, and it just goes with the name. It's humorous. It's funny. It's a joke, people, and it also happens to be delicious. That's pretty much it for that, guys. This is delicious. This has been enjoyable. The tour was amazing. The owner of the place was awesome. Shout out to you, sir. And now we're gonna eat.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around. Big thank you to David, the founder of Saludos. Thank you for all the beer brewing value that you've given us, and thank you for letting us enjoy the awesomeness that is Saludos. I will link all of Saludos socials in the show notes right down below. Check them out. Check out their website and get to know their menu. And if you are local and you haven't visited Saludos, may I suggest go. Or if you happen to be one of those people that like to travel to visit breweries, may I suggest you head on over to Saludos and get yourself a nice cold one and soak up vibes, as they say. Well, that's it for that, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. And remember, if you keep watching, I'm gonna keep drinking and visiting more breweries. Peace.